Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to DC Guitars. Today, we're going to be going over the top 5 guitars that every guitarist should own. Now, quick disclaimer, not every single guitar on this list I currently own. I have owned every single guitar on this list, so I can vouch for those guitars. I'm basing this list off several factors. 1 is versatility, 2 playability, 3 sound, and 4 influence. So yeah, let's not keep this intro going too long. Let's get into it. Boom! First guitar, Fender Stratocaster. Doesn't have to be specifically a Stratocaster, but a Fender, but just some type of Stratocaster guitar. This is technically a Fender. Every single part on the guitar is literally from Fender. So yeah, the Fender Strat is arguably the most versatile guitar ever made. You have 3 pickups, single coils, 5-way selector. But yeah, you can pair the pickups and everything, make them kind of humbuckers at the same time, but really the Strat is probably the most versatile guitar out there. So I actually built this guitar. If you all check out the video, check it out right here. This is obviously an SRV replica build that I did, and I wanted to build a Strat blues guitar. That's why I chose SRV Strat, because I didn't have a blues guitar. It's not just for blues, but this is like a great blues guitar, so that's why I chose it, and it's just an all-around great guitar. And the thing that's great about a Strat is they're typically not super expensive. You can get really expensive ones. Everything on this guitar is straight up American Fender. All the hardware, pickups, everything except for the body and neck, and this cost me like $300 to make. This thing sounds amazing, which you're gonna hear here in a second. So you can definitely either build one or just get one that sounds great and it's not even that expensive. And like I said, this guitar is super versatile, and I'm going to demonstrate that real quick by switching up guitar amps here. And I'm going to go to a more, I'd say, classic rock, hard rock setting. I'm going to show you how this thing does. So as you heard, the Fender Stratocaster is definitely a really great guitar, very versatile. Honestly, if I had to pick an unbiased guitar that you should own, if you had to own only one guitar, it would be this guitar. It's super versatile, sounds amazing, especially if you get a good one. If you had to pick one guitar, it honestly should be this. But yeah, so this is guitar number 1. Let's move on to the second guitar. Alright, so the second guitar you should own happens to be one that I do not currently own. I have owned one in the past, and it is a Gibson Les Paul. A Les Paul, obviously, this might be controversial. Some people just because of the price of a Les Paul, but I think everyone should own a Les Paul because of the inspiration behind it. Obviously, it's a great sounding guitar. They sound amazing, super heavy, like thick body, so it has a nice tone, but I think everyone should own one just because of the inspiration alone. When I pick up a guitar, I try to get inspired when I play. I pick up the guitar, I look at like, wow, that makes me want to play. And looking at a Gibson Les Paul, especially knowing the value of it, makes me want to play it. But not even just the value, but just the people who have played them in the past. You look at all these famous artists that play guitars, and a lot of them use a Les Paul. And when I think of those people who use them, it really drives you to play it. And I wish I had one right now, and hopefully I do have one in the future. You know who you are if you're watching this video. You said you might give me a Les Paul that you own that's white. If you know who you are, maybe you will. I'm not saying you have to, but maybe you will. If I did get that guitar, I would shit myself. But yeah, anyways, Les Paul. It's a great guitar, and I think you should own it. I don't really have much else to say about it because I don't have one in hand, but a Les Paul is an amazing guitar, and every guitar should own one. Alright, moving on to guitar number 3 on our list, we have Gibson SG. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a Gibson, especially for this exact one. The Les Paul kind of has to be a Gibson, but it's just personal preference. But anyways, the SG. Here's why you should own an SG. There's several reasons. One, depending on which one you get, obviously, they sound amazing. I built this one, if you want to check it out, right here. But anyways, I built this guitar. Sounds great, plays great, I love it. It was like my first successful build. It's an SG. So 1, the sound. 2, inspiration, like I said. When this might be a little bit biased, but when I picked this up, I want to play it so badly. It is, I think, the second most selling Gibson of all time behind the Les Paul. Possibly one of the highest selling guitars of all time. I'm not quite sure. I know it's up there in like sales. Because when you look at that, look at it. Devil horns. Just look at that thing. Plus, my favorite guitarist is Angus Young, so I'm a little bit biased there because he plays an SG, and I've always wanted SGs when I was a kid. Now, I do want to say I have owned several SGs before. This is not the only SG. I've owned Gibson SGs, Epiphone SGs, ESP LTD SGs, just so many SGs over my life, so I can vouch for a lot of different SGs, not just Gibson alone. And for the third factor of why you should own an SG is probably the most important one, playability. The SG might possibly be the easiest guitar to play of all time. And yes, I'm saying that. That is not out of personal preference or anything, and I will tell you why. The SG, very light guitar, super easy to hold. It doesn't matter what size you are. Look at Angus Young. He was 5'5", whatever. He's 5'5", 160, 140. I don't even know. He probably weighs less than that. And he doesn't struggle at all to hold an SG. It's super light. Look at this thing. I could toss it around, do whatever I want. It's a super light guitar. 2, the overall feel of it is just great. And then the most important, fret access. I don't think there's a single guitar out there that has better fret access than a Gibson SG. So yeah, that is the Gibson SG, or SG in general. It's a great playing guitar, and it's a guitar you should own in your collection. Alright, so next, I do own the guitar, but this is kind of a broad category. So the next type of guitar you should own is a Shreddy guitar. I know this is kind of hard to say it this way, but basically what I'm saying is you should own some type of super guitar, like a Kramer's, Jackson, stuff like that. I do have the EVH Frankenstrat, which is a Shreddy guitar, which is what I'm talking about. And I also have a Kramer Barrett Special, which is a Shreddy guitar I'm talking about. So for the video, I'm going to play the Kramer just because it's a brand guitar. So this is what I'm talking about when I say you should own a shred guitar. Kramer is probably my favorite Shreddy brand. I've owned Jacksons, I've owned Ibanez's and stuff like that. Out of all the guitars I've played, Kramers are just... I just think they're great guitars. I've always loved them. Probably because of EVH. They're my personal favorite. You don't have to get a Kramer. I'm just saying you should own a shreddier type guitar that has, like a tremolo system, humbucker, just stuff like that, locking tuners, Floyd Roses, stuff like that. And I'll tell you why. When I pick up one of these, I'm your typical classic rock blues type player. That's what I like to do. But when I pick up one of these, I feel like I'm forced to play different things. I'm forced to try and shred and play up and down the fretboard and stuff like that. That's a good thing because it develops my skill. Ever since I've been playing these type of guitars, my soloing and skill and finger tapping and just knowledge of moving up and down the fretboard has increased drastically. Now obviously that could just be me trying to play those songs and that type of music, which it is, but I'm inspired to do that when I pick up one of these. So yeah, I think you should go out and buy a shred guitar. My personal favorite is Kramer, like I said. They're super cheap. They're very easy to play typically because they're meant for performance, so very, smooth neck, good fret edges, good access, stuff like that, not typically really heavy, and they're just built to shred. Obviously it depends on which one you get, but hey, if you're looking into shred guitar, I recommend this. I actually made a video on this as the cheapest the greatest cheap guitar of all time, which I still stand by because this thing is amazing. It's only $170, so make sure you check out that video. So yeah, if you're looking for a shred guitar, I recommend this if you're buying on a budget, because this thing is still great. But anyways, I just think somewhere in your collection should be a shreddier type guitar, whatever your preference is, that doesn't matter, but some type of shred beast. And for the last guitar on our list, it's going to be an acoustic guitar. Because one, obviously the whole entire collection we just did through was all electric guitars. But two, because the acoustic guitar teaches a different value that I believe makes you a better player. So when I play an acoustic, I notice that my picking hand is more capable by the time I'm done learning acoustic. So a lot of the songs I learn are finger picking, which obviously makes your overall picking skill better by being able to finger pick and stuff like that. Two, I believe it makes you just a better rhythm player, keeping you on time. That's obviously important in any type of music, but especially when I'm playing acoustic. So honestly, if you're getting acoustic, really any acoustic I think will do. They're all great guitars. Obviously there's cheap ones out there that aren't that good, but any mid-level guitar should do. This is a Fender CD60. Yep, Fender CD60. I believe I got this for like, I want to say $300 when it came out. I've had it for years now, and I actually might convert this guitar for another video where I build custom guitar stuff. I might make this into like the Kurt Cobain MTV Live acoustic guitar with all the 3 pickups and the knobs and stuff, so I might do that. So yeah, there's not really much to say besides I think every guitar should have an acoustic in their collection. Not only do you get to play different types of music, because obviously acoustic songs are different than electric guitar songs, it overall just makes you a better guitar player. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that top 5 list. If you think there's a guitar I missed that should have been on the list, make sure you leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to let you know how I feel about that and admit if I was wrong. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and join the family. It really helps me out. We've been growing pretty well here, and we've been having a lot of fun, so join the family. But that about wraps up today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Till next time, this is Nate. Peace.